Now, everybody wants premium quality for a not so premium price. And hopefully, in today's video, we're gonna take this boring looking interior and turn it into something that looks premium and superior, all from the comfort of my own home. And for the small cost of £100. So without further ado, let's get straight into it and I'll show you how it went. And of course, if you guys aren't already, please remember, hit subscribe and give the video a like whilst you're at it. Turn on the notifications so you never miss an upload like this on the channel again. So if you guys haven't seen the video where I removed the dashboard, this is where it is now. On my dining room table, and we have a massive sheet of Alcantara. This is Alcantara wrap, but as you can see it covers more than enough of the dashboard. That was the look that I was going for. So without further ado, I'm gonna get on with this. I'm dreading it and you don't get anywhere if you don't try. I'm gonna speed up the process, but I'm sure you guys will still see what I'm doing, and any important parts, I'll come back and check in with you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start getting on with it. As you can see, I am just laying the Alcantara out on top now, trying to figure out the best way to do this, because if I'm honest, this didn't go well the first time, and this was the first time doing it. For some reason, I thought it would be smart to try and put the whole thing on in one piece, and yeah, didn't exactly go to plan. But nevertheless, what I have found that works is wood glue. So I'm just putting the wood glue on, and then I'm going to try and lay the Alcantara on top of the dashboard. So where we're at right now, we've got this bit spare, which I'm going to use for this bit up here, and do it bit by bit, because putting that massive sheet on last time was near impossible to do on my own. So we are going to get this on, do it bit by bit. First I'm actually going to cut it to size. I want to leave some excess. And as you can tell, I ended up cutting that big sheet off because it was that bad. I could not live with it if I kept it on there. So what I've done instead is I've used a cut off, and I'm gonna use that for the top piece, and I've got an idea which you guys will see later on in the video to hide the join between the two pieces of fabric. Now for this piece of fabric, I'm taking a bit of a different approach. I'm still putting the wood glue on, but I'm going to lay it on bit by bit and do it little piece by little piece, and hopefully that will go a lot better than what I did originally, which was just get the massive sheet of Alcantara and put that straight on top. So, welcome back. It's been about 45 minutes, and this is where we've got up to. We've got up to this bit now. Due to the way that the vents curve, that also means that the material curves, which I did not take into account. So as you can see here, we are coming off at an angle. But I've got some purple Alcantara, which I could do that in, or I've got spare there. It's very hard. It's the vents that are the issue. The vents is I can't even speak. The vents are what are causing the issues. They're just so hard to do, and I had to do a couple of little stress cracks there. There's also creases and wrinkles. Let me try and see if I can show you that one. Like, it's working, but I think what I'm going to do for now is let this dry, just so it's a bit easier to work with, because that as well, I've got to address that before I try and put the rest of it on. But yeah, so hopefully when it's all together, it's not going to be too bad, and we can amend some of the air bubbles and stress lines. Just a quick tip, guys, if you are doing this yourself, seek professional help. Welcome back. It's now the next day and we've got some good news and we've got some bad news. So this is how far we got, and due to the air vents being so technical and stretching the fabric, as you can see, there is a lot of air bubbles. Now, my idea is I'm going to run this for now until we can get the car started, and then in the future I'm going to pretty much cut these two vents out and replace it with a metal plate and put the vents in there, maybe even possibly get some custom gauges put in. But that's my plan. So until then, we're just going to have to make do. There's also probably going to be a line there which I'm going to need to fill in, and I need to get this bit cut nice and evenly. So let's get on with that now. And now, as you can see, I'm just getting on and doing all the little fiddly bits with the Stanley blade. So I'm going ahead and cutting out of the air vent, and then I'm also trimming around the edges of the side of the dashboard. And now I'm just going ahead and putting super glue on the parts that I want to stay in place. Just be careful if you guys are using super glue yourself, because it does dry white. And yes, I have made this exact same mistake before. I tried putting a whole panel on with super glue and it was horrific, to be honest. The whole thing turned out white and it was absolutely horrendous. So just something to keep in mind and be aware of. And now we can go ahead and cut out the middle sections where the infotainment or radio is going to sit. So as you can see, we've managed to clean that bit up a little bit better. There was a massive crease coming all the way over there. So what I did is I split that and then just folded it over. We are making some good progress and we are dealing with what we've got. Yes, there's loads of air bubbles. I know, it's really annoying me. And yes, it's kind of messy, but forget about it. Next on the list is we need to fill this bit in. And we also need to do this area. Now I'm praying that goes well. I have got that bit of fabric and those bits over there, and I might do these bits in purple because I've got some purple Alcantara and it's kind of out of the way, and if it's dark then it might look like dark purple, which is the colour that I'm going for with my car. So yeah, this job is it's turned out to be a lot harder than I originally thought. I wish I had a bit of an easier dashboard to work with, but I don't. And Volkswagen Audi Group cars like to put circular vents in like that. But we'll make do. We will make the best of what we can. Don't underestimate this job if you guys are doing it yourselves. And now it's time to fill in all the little gaps. So I'm just going to start off by putting some wood glue down and then using a little bit of Alcantara as an offcut to fill in this gap. I'm going to then let it dry, and then we can go in with the Stanley blade and fix the issue. Now I'm just going to figure out how much purple wrap I need to use. So as you can see, I'm just simply laying it on, and then I'm going to eye it up and cut it with a pair of scissors. And then once again we can go ahead and put wood glue on the surface, and then finally place the purple Alcantara on top of the cockpit. we somehow managed to get this purple bit on. We did have a stress line there, which we did have to put a slit in it, but I mean, it's a lot better than it was, and I'm hoping that because it's on that side, when you're here, you're not actually going to notice it that much. And now we can go ahead and do all the little fiddly bits needed for the cockpit area. So I'm just getting my Stanley blade once again and going around all the edges so that we can get a nice clean finish. And now, as you can see here, this is my idea to fill that horrendous gap. I'm pretty much gonna make some strips of Alcantara out of the purple Alcantara, fold it over so it almost looks like it's been stitched, and then I can go ahead and lay this on using wood glue and super glue. And somehow this did actually turn out better than I originally thought, as you guys will see coming up any second now. Okay, so far, job well done. I cut a strip from this and folded it over, and then I've put some wood glue in the little groove, and then I just got some super glue on the end of a skewer and just dabbed it underneath the edges, and that looks absolutely mint. And from the front, when you're actually in the car, you're only going to see the top very brief section, so it'll just be like a line of purple, which looks smart as anything. Now I need to somehow make a bit that's going to bend around that. For that bit,
you got me down again.
so I'm just going ahead and filling in these last little bits by putting some wood glue in the areas where I need to put Alcantara, and then getting some black Alcantara fabric and laying it on, and I am going to leave this overnight, 24 hours to dry completely before I start cutting it with the blade. That's one of the main things you've got to have with these jobs is patience. So I left it 24 hours, and in a minute you will see me come back and start cutting it with the Stanley blade. So, as you can see, last piece of the puzzle is now installed, and we're going to wait for this to dry, and then we're going to come back in with the blade, and yeah, we'll get things moving, get this cut up. I did have to put a relief crack in there, but it's nothing major. It's near the vent anyway, and I think these relief cracks, I'm going to get used to it. Do you know what I mean? I may need to still trim some of this down when it comes to putting in the vents, but I'll do that at the time. But that one went on a lot smoother than any of the others. It's probably because it's such a smaller part, and you've got these bits which you can release air and pressure. But doesn't look half bad, does it? Does not look half bad. And here we go, one of the final pieces to the puzzle, cutting all the excess Alcantara fabric off and getting it looking nice and clean. This is probably also a good time to mention, if you are still watching, drop a comment, drop a like, and do not forget to subscribe. We are nearly at 1,000 subscribers in 5-6 months, which is absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, doing YouTube has been a childhood dream for me. So if you could take 2 seconds out of your day and click subscribe, it would mean the absolute world. And as you can see here, I'm just making the final strip to go on and complete the puzzle. So, if you can't tell, it's been a long day, but the dashboard is nearly finished. As you can see, from what we've just done, we did the side piece, which is for the center console piece. There, I'm going to let that dry overnight, and then tomorrow I'm going to come back and I'm going to cut that, and then I'm also going to stick the other one on tomorrow night. And fingers crossed, that should be everything, and then we can get the dashboard back in. Everything's super glued on, which is good. I've just got to hope that everything fits back into the car, because there's going to be some excess material all around the dashboard, so it might be a tight squeeze. But I'm going to see what I can do. Maybe I need to take the blade with me and trim some bits down as and when I go. Now we can finally go ahead and get this dashboard back in, and there is some parts that I didn't record and there were some parts that I did. I did have to basically end up taking the whole dashboard out again because I rerouted one of the cables for a connector wrong, and this led to me having to take the whole dashboard out again, which was the part that I did not record. So one of the first things that I had to do was clip the dashboard back into place and then get all of the dashboard screws back in. These are simply just 8mm bolts, and they're dotted around where the dashboard sits. Then we can go ahead and get the piece that goes underneath the steering wheel, and then we can also go ahead and get the glove box in. Now the glove box has 4 bolts up the top, 1 bolt right in the back, and 1 bolt on the side as well. And then last but not least, we can finally go ahead and get all the trim pieces back in, get the infotainment system back in, and once again, of course, like any other job on this car, it was an absolute ball ache. But we got there in the end, and now the dashboard is looking sweet as anything. And unfortunately, that does just about bring me to the end of this video. However, here we go. We have completed the mission. Alcantara there, Alcantara there, Alcantara here. I did also paint these black, which don't look horrific. It just kind of adds to it a little bit. But there is, as you can see, some little mistakes, but I explained what I wanted to do with that. Managed to get the boost gauge in as well. That will be in a future video. Apart from that, I mean, everything's gone well. It was an absolute mission, and even getting the dashboard back in was an absolute mission. But we've done this from the comfort of my own home. So if you guys did like this modification, make sure you leave a comment down below. Let me know if you guys are going to do this yourself. Highly recommend, if you're doing a Volkswagen Audi Group dashboard that has these circular vents, seek professional help or find a way around that, because it's near impossible. There's a mishap there, mistake there, mistake there. Even on some of these vents, I've had to put stress cracks or relief cracks as such. But for the meantime, I think this is completely transformed the interior of this car. But once again, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next Sunday at 6 PM for the next upload on the channel. Of course, don't forget to hit subscribe, like the video. You guys have no idea how much it means. And I will see you next Sunday at 6 PM.